Passengers have been left stranded at airports in Abuja and Lagos after aviation unions shut down operations of Air Peace in the early hours of Tuesday. The action followed a picketing exercise by the National Union of Air Transport Employees, the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, and the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, all led by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress. The unions accused the airline of preventing workers from freely unionizing and failing to remit ticket sales charges owed to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. We also tell you that passengers scheduled to travel on Air Peace from the local wing of the Murtala Muhammed Airport in Lagos have been stranded following an industrial action by aviation workers. The Air Transport Senior Staff Association of Nigeria says the action is linked to alleged restrictions on workers' rights to unionize. The union also alleges that the airline has failed to remit certain statutory levies owed to associations within the aviation sector. The development disrupted flight operations this morning, leaving passengers unable to reach their destinations. The union is demanding resolution of the issues before normal operations can resume. And joining us now on the news is News Central's correspondent Israel Eferobor. Israel, so what is the update as regards the picketing at the airport?
Well, Leko, the update that I can give to you right now is that these passengers here at the MM1 here in Lagos, they are still stranded. There is no movement whatsoever. All the passengers who have earlier on booked to fly to different destinations via Air Peace today are still here, and nothing has been done so far. We understand that there are calls are being made, meetings are being fixed. The unions are having conversations with the authorities as well, but all of that hasn't come to anything for now. These people that have left their houses since 4 a.m. are still here at airports, stranded with no end in sight to the situation, Lekon.
So as any of the representatives of the aviation leadership, have they addressed or spoken to any of the union members or maybe the passengers that are even stranded at the airports?
Oh, yes, indeed. That has been done. There are lots of, there are about 3 unions here that we have been able to speak to that are on the ground. There is the Air Transport Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. There is also the National Union of Air Transport Employees and also the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers. These are some of the associations that are on ground today picketing the counter of Air Peace, ensuring that no flight is being taken up today from Air Peace. They say that Air Peace is owing levies, and also the fact that they haven't allowed their workers to also join their preferred unions. These are some of the issues that we have been told resulted into what has happened here today. But let's talk to a passenger here who is stranded. His name is Samuel. Samuel is one of those that are also really angry about the situation here today. So Samuel, you're live on television. Yeah. I know you're not very happy about what's going on right now.
No,
how do you feel, Samuel?
Well, very, 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 very disheartening. The situation is so frustrating and is energy losing. I want to say that it is very, very not anticipated. Yeah, because if there are industrial actions such as this, the airline is supposed to inform the passengers. In this instance, the Air Peace. But as at yesterday, they were still communicating to us that we have to fly this morning. To me, I see that very, very unprofessional and not too good. And again, on the aspect of the union, there are ways union and employers matters are resolved. You do not take to protest infinitum or without a definite end. At least they have spoken their mind. The government, the authorities have heard their cry. They should equally allow the passenger have their way, because they do not have the entire absolute right. Where their right stops, that is where other people will begin. So another issue they raise is the issue of the Air Peace being part of their union. I want to say, without missing word, it is not under any compulsion for an institution to belong to an association. Freedom of association is allowed. If they say they don't want to join the union, that is for the airpees. They cannot force them to become a union member of the NUATE.
It is in the constitution that workers should join the union of their choice.
It is not in any constitution. If you look at the Nigerian constitution, it is very clear. Freedom of association. They have the right to associate with whosoever they want to associate with. So they cannot be coerced. You cannot be forced to join an association. That is one of the grounds upon which this protest is being taken on. But on the other hand, they are saying airpeace is not remitting what is supposed to be remitting. Now, that is between them and the airpeace and the government. That should not be, or the passenger should not bear the brunt of airpeace liability. So that's what I can see. But to be very honest, it is very, very damaging to my psychology. What I've experienced this morning, I've been in the airport at about after 5 a.m. and I'm still here. The situation does not even seem to resolving. So I don't even know where to go from here. So we are calling on the relevant authority to please intervene so that passengers can fly. There are those coming from abroad. There are those who have appointments, series of appointments at the council because of this union picketing. So I want to plead with the government to please intervene in this situation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel. Well, indeed, Lekon, I've spoken to 2 nurses here today who were on their way to offer treatment to their patients outside Lagos. They are still here right now, and those patients are not attended to right now. There are people here also that are also ill, like we have been told. I haven't seen any, but there's 1 or 2 persons that have come to tell me that these people need to fly. But indeed, the stalemate that we are experiencing right now has affected a lot of activities here at the airport. One thing I was able to gather from the unions, from the associations here today, is the fact that tomorrow there will be a meeting. The authorities have called for a meeting between all the parties involved. We are just hoping to see how that meeting will pan out, and just maybe there will be an end to this picketing that we are experiencing here today, that has indeed left hundreds of passengers stranded today at the MM1. Lekon.
Oh, thank you so much, Israel. It's quite sad and disheartening that people will be losing time and business, even money, as a result of this industrial action. But then we'll circle back to you in a bit. Let's take this conversation to Abuja, where we have Charles Pius standing by for updates. Charles, a pleasant day to you, though it might not be so pleasant for passengers stranded at the Abuja airport. Tell us more as regards what's happening there right now.
We're at Abuja International Airport, where union leaders have picketed the airport, and it's largely because of the fact that the airlines, specifically airpeace, have refused the claim to remit taxes. I'm talking about the ticket sales taxes. Apparently, there were a meeting earlier where they agreed that airlines were supposed to remit 5% of the ticket sales. That hasn't happened, they claim. And secondly, they claim that the airpeace management have basically shut down the idea of their workers joining their union. And so because of that, they picketed these airports. Only just a few minutes ago, they are allowed the passengers to get into the airport. All through the morning, all the airlines were grounded. Now, let me just show you the environment where we are. Let me just show you what they put up here. Now, look at this. The strongest message, they said airlines need workers, workers need unions, aviation needs accountability, respect union rights, pay legitimate obligations, protect aviation workers. That's one of the messages they're actually putting out to the management of airpeace. Let me also show you one of other messages that they have put out here. This one is 25 billion naira debts, pay what you owe, aviation industry, prioritize safety. Apparently, these are the comments. There are other messages cut across this particular location. Some seconds ago, a whole lot of persons were stranded. They were here, but only just recently they were allowed inside. And you can only imagine the stench or what it looks like right inside. I mean, missed airlines, missed opportunities, and who knows what happens afterwards. There are no words from aviation authorities or even union on reasons specifically why this is happening. The only statement that we're able to gather was a very short statement from NCAA asking that everyone sheath their sword, and hopefully when the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Management comes back, because he's out of the country, hopefully he would have these resolved. But again, they're also saying that some meetings were called last week, but aviation workers refused to attend that meeting, and I'm wondering why that is. But in due course, we'll find out details regarding these updates. It's back to you in the studio.
Much Charles Pius and of course Israel Eferobor. This is an unfolding situation. I will continue to bring details of it definitely to our viewers.